found out that this actually is pretty cool. What are you doing, taping the place?
Taping the environment.
Oh, taping the environment. Okay. Here we're going to do the onion soup, the chicken, and the cake. This is for you, my children, my babies. When you take the onions, this actually were 5 onions, about this big. And by the time I fixed it, it was over the spot. And the key to cooking the onions is that you have to have them sliced this way. And this is about...
That's circular.
Well, yeah, circular. I mean, it's like, your typical rings, but they have to be thin. You don't want them too thick. So this, to get it to this color and this consistency, it was about 45 minutes because it was about this high. This is what you want. You don't want them burnt. You want them to be caramelized like this. Okay? So once you get them to that stage, you take 2 tomatoes or 3. Now, the key that Grandma Mommy used to do was you take your tomatoes and you put it in a pot of boiling water. And when you put your tomato in there, it breaks the skin and it's easy to peel. And then when it's easy to peel, there's no waste. And then you just cut your tomato. And that's important because you want to capture all the juices out of this. So there's no waste, and you're going to get all the pulp and all the paste. So once your onion is like this, you're going to kind of recreate a paste. You take your onions, and you may not have to put all of it. You kind of have to gauge it because you don't want it to turn into a tomato soup. Yeah, we're going to put all of it. These were 1 big one and 2 medium ones. And then we're going to let it simmer until it becomes more pasty, until the tomatoes actually are mushed with the onions. So then we got to keep on stirring it. And as we do that, I guess I could come down off my feet. Do you want a glass of wine? I can have a glass of wine. Okay. What's really important is when you make onion soup, you got to really salt it a lot. So use sea salt. See, it's a lot.
I'll go back to that.
I don't know how much that is, but
Now we got a visual.
so just kind of put it in there. Put pepper. I have no idea. Just kind of, just pepper. And then kind of mix it. See, and if you look at it, it's becoming pasty. It's becoming almost like a stew of some sort. And so the tomatoes are getting mushed up with the onions. So while this is going to take place, we're going to pass on to the chicken. The chicken, I used to bake it, which was very good. But they make some really good baked chicken. What's important is when you do buy your baked chicken already cooked, don't get teriyaki, don't get barbecue. It's got to be your basic roasted chicken. So just take all the skin, because if you keep the skin, it's going to be really greasy. So just take your whole meat off the bones and disregard the skin. So just kind of bless you. So just kind of take your chicken and then just take it apart. And in the meantime, you take your cream of mushroom soup that you put in 1 cube of beef broth. Now, I suggest this one. This is good broth. This is very good broth. You most likely will find it in the Mexican aisle, but this is very good broth. So you don't want to put the whole can of soup, although in this case I had to. But you don't want it to be a soupy consistency. You want it to be, you want it to be a little thick, but not soupy. In the meantime, just make sure you stir your soup so it gets this the right consistency. This is really important. This is a big important part of the soup right here. You want the tomatoes to kind of cook down. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take fat.
Salud.
Excuse me.
Salud.
We're going to take our chicken, and this is really quick. You can do this with multiple dishes. You can put broccoli, you can put in the bread puffs the way we're going to do it. You can serve it with pasta, but this is the way you guys like it. So